Hello, Cambridge Language College.
Oh, yes. Hello. I'd like to attend one of your evening classes.
Oh, yes. Which class are you interested in?
English. It's course 139.
I see. Course 139 is for intermediate students. Is that the course you want?
Yes, it is. Intermediate.
Right. Do you want the short course or the long course?
The long course, please. That's 12 weeks, isn't it?
Yes. Now I need to take some personal details first. Your name, please.
Silva.
Silva's your surname, isn't it?
Yes.
Can you spell that for me?
Yes. S-I-L-V-A.
Thank you. And your first name?
Maria.
Maria. Thank you. Oh, what's your nationality?
I'm Mexican. I'm a student at university in Mexico City. I'm here for the summer.
I see. So you speak Spanish and any other languages?
No, just Spanish. And a little English.
And you're a student. And your date of birth?
My date? Oh, the 11th of October, 1983.
11th of October, 1983. Where are you staying in Cambridge?
Sorry?
What's your address here?
Oh, it's 24 Cherry Road. The postcode is CB1 5AW.
Okay. Now then, Maria, do you have a telephone number?
Yes, it's 742980.
742980. That's fine. The next intermediate English long course starts on Monday at 7 p.m.
Can you pass me the salt, please?
Sure, here you are.
Oh, thanks. Say, are you from the States?
That's right. James Kent. Pleased to meet you.
Hi there, James. My name's Pim Talong.
Talong. That's a Thai name, isn't it?
That's right. I study at Ascension University.
Hey, I've heard of that one. What do you study?
Engineering. How about you?
I study history at New York University.
Oh, I study history too.
Oh, really? Where?
At the Sorbonne University in Paris. I'm from France.
Really? What's your name?
Simone Clément.
Hi, Simon. I'm James, and the guy cooking is Pim.
Hi. Smells nice. What are you cooking, Pim?
I'm cooking a curry, Thai style. Do you want some?
That would be great.
Great.
Can Takeyuki have some too? He's my boyfriend.
Oh, yeah, sure. Why not?
I'll get the plates.
Oh, look, here is Takeyuki now.
Hello.
I'm Pim. This is James, and you know Simon already, right?
Right.
Tell them what you do, Takeyuki.
Oh, yes. I study computer science at Tokyo University.
Takeyuki's so clever. One day, he's going to have his own company.
That's right. Saito Industries, it'll be called. Saito is my surname.
Sounds just great.
But first, Simone and I will get married.
That's just great.
Curry, anyone?
Sounds good.
Hey, James, photos.
Yes. They're of my family at New Year.
Oh, can I see?
Okay, then. This is one of us all. My parents are in the middle.
Oh, yes. What's your mother's name?
Susan.
I see. Susan. And is this your father next to her?
Yes. His name's Bill.
Bill. That's a nice name. How old are your parents?
They're the same age. They're both 43. And I have 2 sisters.
Oh.
This is Jenny, next to my dad.
Oh, she's pretty.
Ugh, I don't think so. She's 16.
This is you, next to Jenny, yes?
Yes, that's me.
So, how old are you, James?
I'm 15.
And this is another sister next to your mother.
That's right. That's my little sister Jane. She's 11.
And who is this next to Jane?
Oh, that's my grandmother. She's really old. She's 80, I think.
She looks healthy. What's her name?
Helen. But I call her Grandma.
Well, what a nice family. Now, I have some photos of my family here. Do you want to see?
Sure.
Hey, look, Sally. It's a letter from my family. Oh, there's a photo.
Let's see. Where's this? India?
That's right. Last summer.
That's you on the left.
Yes. And there's my sister Bina sitting next to me. She's 19 now. And next to her is my little sister Versha.
She's lovely. How old is she?
14, I think. Yes, she's 14.
And who's that next to her? Is that Amit?
Yes, that's Amit, all right. He's 22.
And that's your father next to him, isn't it?
Yes, his name's Naveen. And next to him is my mother, Nina.
How old are they?
My dad is 56 and my mum is 53.
Right. And who is this on the end here? The last person on the right. I don't think I know him.
Oh, that's my brother, Tarek. He's 26.
So Tarek's your big brother?
Yes, he's 26 and I'm 24.
Well, you sure have a big family.
Yes, I do. And guess what?
What?
They're all coming to visit at Christmas.
Really? Oh, that's great.
Yes, for a month.
That's great, Raj. Great.
Welcome back, listeners. I'm Kent Brockwell, and in this morning's Family Life phone-in, we ask, how does life change after having a child? So let's start by going to the phones now to see what you, the listeners, think. First to line 1 and Tony. Tony, are you there?
Yes, Kent, I'm here.
So, Tony, you have a son, is that right?
That's right, Kent. His name's Ben. He's 3 now.
And can you tell us how your life changed after Ben was born?
Sure. Well, the first thing that changed was suddenly my wife and I had no money. I never knew how expensive it is to have a child. My wife stopped working, so we had less money. But we had to buy so many things. Baby clothes, special soaps, a baby bath, a pram, toys.
Wow. So you're saying your financial situation changed, Tony?
Sure did. My advice, if you're thinking of having a child, is Save up.
Yes, good advice, Tony. Now, over to line 2 and Carol. Carol, are you there?
Yes, Kent. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Carol. Tell the listeners how life changed for you when you had a baby.
Oh, well, the first thing my husband and I noticed was that suddenly we had no time left. We felt like every minute of every day just disappeared looking after Elizabeth. That's our daughter.
So there was a lot to do then, Carol?
Oh, you wouldn't believe it. We were always changing nappies, preparing food, feeding her, giving her a bath.
So quite a change in lifestyle for you both then.
Exactly. Everything changed the day she was born. And another thing, we were always worrying about something. Was she too hot? Was she too cold? Was she hungry?
Oh dear.
My advice to new parents is, don't worry so much. Just enjoy being parents.
Well, thanks, Carol. Now our final caller is Lucy on line 3. Lucy, are you there?
Hello. Good morning.
So quickly, Lucy, as we don't have much time left, how did life change for you when you had a child?
Well, I noticed that suddenly we had no space left in the house. There were nappies, towels, clothes everywhere.
No space.
That's right. And so many toys. I mean, everyone bought toys. Terry had hundreds of toys. Of course, he never really played with any of them. What a waste. My advice is ask for money, not toys.
Well, thanks, Lucy, and our other callers. And now...
I remember when my father became ill. It was 10 years ago now, and he was 75. He was living alone at the time. His wife, that's my mother, of course, had died the year before, and he had been, well, depressed, I suppose you could say, ever since. Anyway, it was one January, just after Christmas. I went to see him on Sunday morning, as normal, and he didn't answer the door. I thought, that's odd, and I used my key to get in, and then I found him in the lounge, lying on the floor. Well, I phoned the ambulance in a panic, and then I waited. I can remember it now. A terrible feeling. After about 20 minutes, the ambulance arrived, and they rushed him off to hospital, and it turned out it was a stroke. Not a serious one, though, but he was in hospital for over a month. Of course, all the time he was in hospital, I was on the phone to my sister, Kate, and we tried to decide what we should do with him when he came out. Well, I couldn't have him at my place, as I was out at work all day, and it was clear he needed constant attention. Kate was the obvious choice, as she didn't work and had a big house, so he could have had his own room. But no, Kate wanted him to go into a nursing home. She said it was the best thing for him. But I am convinced that she simply didn't want to look after him. She just didn't want to take on the responsibility. Anyway, in the end, he had to go into a nursing home. I went to see him as often as I could, but that was only at weekends, of course, because I was working during the week. But Kate only went to see him once. I know that it was a long way for her to go, over 3 hours by car, but he was in that home for 6 months. Finally, he had a heart attack, and that was it. It killed him. Kate came to the funeral, but I've never really forgiven her.
Well, when my father became ill and went to hospital, James and I fell out. He wanted me to look after Dad, but I thought he needed professional help. I mean, if anything happened in the house, then I wouldn't be able to cope, would I? I'm not a doctor. James kept saying that because I had space, then Dad should come here. But I don't think he realised what that would mean. Changing all the house to have a bathroom on the ground floor, turning the dining room into a bedroom. Dad wouldn't be able to get upstairs, you see. And then there's looking after him, taking him to the toilet and bathing him and all that. It would be okay for James to do that, as he's a man, but for me it seemed wrong. I felt that James was just trying to get me to do all the work and sort out all the problems and change my life, while his life would remain absolutely the same. That's not fair. James's excuse was he was working. He could easily have hired a care worker to help look after Dad during the day. He has lots of money. And then he could have taken over when he got back from work. Oh, it's clear to me that if he'd really wanted, then he could easily have looked after Dad. Instead, he just blames me. It's so unfair.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Language International. My name is Mrs. Watson and I am the centre manager. I hope you will all have a wonderful stay here with us. This is Miss Jones, who is our Director of Studies. Miss Jones, would you please say a little about the weekly timetable?
Hello, everyone. As Mrs. Watson said, I am the Director of Studies here at Language International. Could you all now please turn to page 5 in your folder, where you can see the weekly timetable. Now, you see that lessons begin every weekday at 9 a.m. The first class every Monday is grammar practice, followed at 9:45 by a visit to the language laboratory. There is a break from 10:30 to 11, and then you have a double lesson of speaking skills. Tuesday morning begins with presentation skills. This is important as you will each give a presentation at the end of the course to your class. And this counts for 10% of your final grade. At 9:45, you'll have a reading skills lesson, and after the break, vocabulary development. In the afternoon, starting at 1:30 p.m, you'll go to the library. In the library lesson, you can read, watch a video, or practice grammar. On Wednesday morning, you have listening skills, and then what we call current affairs, where you'll listen to the news on the radio and discuss what's going on. After the break, it's another double lesson of speaking skills. Thursday morning begins with pronunciation. Then a special Life in Britain class, where you will learn about British culture. After the break is grammar practice once again. Finally, on Friday morning, in the first lesson, you will practice writing skills, followed by a lesson in the computer room. After the break is the weekly review period, where your teacher will help with any problems you may have. Oh, and don't forget you can study on your own in the library every weekday from 3:30 to 6 p.m. as well, if you wish.
Thank you, Miss Jones. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Brown, who is the social organiser.
Thank you, Mrs. Watson. Hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Brown, and it's my job to make sure you have some fun while you're here too. Now, this afternoon we'll go together on a walking tour of the city, and then on Wednesday afternoon we're off to the local sports centre, where you can play volleyball or football, use the gym, or go swimming to keep yourselves fit. And on Friday afternoons we have a film club. This week's film is Spider-Man. On Saturday we're going on a day trip to Oxford, leaving here at 8:30 in the morning. Please don't be late or we'll go without you. And finally, on Sunday, we're off to London, leaving at the same time. If there are any other things you'd like to do while you're here, then just ask me and I'll see if I can help. Dr. Goodall, please.
Dr. Goodall? Yes? Here. You, here at the front.
What is a typical day like for you when you're in Africa, Dr. Goodall?
Well, when I am in Gombe, I get up at 6:45. For breakfast, I usually have a piece of bread and a cup of coffee. Then I go and find the chimps.
What happens when you find the chimps?
I spend the day following them in the forest. It can be very tiring following the chimps, crawling through the jungle, but it's always interesting, as I never know where I'm going to go.
Do you stop for lunch?
Oh, I usually don't bother with lunch when I'm out.
What's the hardest part of the day?
I'm used to living in the jungle now. That has never been difficult for me, actually. But in the day, I normally feel most tired around 3:00.
When do you stop following the chimps and go back home?
When it starts to get dark. The chimps choose a place to rest. The young ones play up in the branches. It's lovely in the sunset after a hot day. When I know they are settling down, I head for home.
How do you spend your evenings?
The Gombe evening is magical. It's dark by 7:30 p.m. I jump into Lake Tanganyika. The clear, fresh water makes all the tiredness go away. Then I cook something like beans, onions and tomatoes over an open fire.
And how about here in the UK? I guess your day must be a bit different.
Just a bit, yes. In Bournemouth, where I have a home, breakfast is at 9, which is great, because I can get 3 hours work done first. I always have many letters to write. I try to reply to them all, especially ones from children. In the morning and the afternoon, I write replies to all the letters. I have tea with my family in the late afternoon, and then go for a walk with my dog. After supper, it's back to work again.
And what about...
Dr. Goodall?
Dr.
Goodall?
Can I...
Good morning.
Good morning. What time is it?
6 o'clock.
Oh,
We missed you at breakfast.
am I too late already?
I'm afraid so. Breakfast is in the great tent from 5 to 5:30. Here, have a piece of bread.
Is that it? One piece of bread?
Everyone has gone off to swim in the lake now. Do you fancy joining us?
In December? You must be kidding. It's freezing.
But the water is pure, and it refreshes our soul.
You said that yesterday, and I still haven't changed my mind. I came here to escape, to forget all my problems for a week, not make myself ill. No way am I going swimming. And that's final. Now, what's the rest of the program for today?
Well, morning prayers start at 6:30. We meet in the great tent and chant together.
Okay, I need to unwind.
We do this for half an hour until 7.
How about yoga? Isn't that in the morning as well? I can't wait for that.
Yoga class is in the great tent from 7 to 8, and then we will walk in the wood to achieve inner peace.
Now, wait a minute. Where's that leaflet you gave me? Yes, here it is. Yoga finishes at 8, walking till 10. That's 2 hours.
Yes, it's really invigorating. The walk will cleanse your spirit and refresh your soul.
It seems a bit long to me. I'm not that keen on walking. Anyway, then from 10 to midday, it's meditation, right?
Yes, we meditate together in the great tent.
Great. And after lunch, what's this? It says here, creative skills.
Here you will learn a special dance.
Aha.
We dance among the trees to show our love for nature and the world. The dance will refresh your soul.
I'm not sure I like the sound of that. It's not really me.
No, you'll take to it in no time. It's from 1 to 2 o'clock. After the dancing, you will learn how to express yourself through painting and song as well.
Ah, that sounds more like it. Oh, and when do I get the massage?
That's at 4 o'clock. Then dinner.
Dinner. Yes, here it is. At 5 o'clock. What do we get?
Soup and bread. Soup and bread will...
Let me guess. Refresh my soul, right?
That's right!
Then what?
Then at 5:30, you return to your tent and meditate alone. You remain alone until breakfast the next morning.
I think that'll be the best part. Right. I'll see you at morning prayers in the great tent.
Yes, I'll see you then.
Well, here we are. Number 5, Highcroft Court. After you.
Thanks.
This is the hall, as you can see. There's a big mirror on the wall, and a telephone over there, too.
Is the telephone working?
Oh, yes. You only pay for the calls you make. Now, through here to the left. This is the lounge. There's a television and...
Look, Anna! What a big sofa!
It's huge.
Oh, yes. It's new, too. And if you go through that door in front of you, that's the dining room. With a nice big table and 6 chairs.
Great! We can have friends for dinner.
And it has 2 windows, so it's very light in here, too. Now, if we go back into the lounge and then left, on the left here is the bathroom.
It's a bit small.
Yes, but the shower and toilet are both new. And opposite, just here, we have the kitchen. It's a little bigger.
Is that the washing machine?
Yes. And there's a dishwasher too, over there.
Oh, that's useful.
And finally, this is the bedroom.
Oh, yes. This is lovely. I like the big wardrobe.
There's a desk here too, so I can study.
You, Carlos, study.
It's very comfortable. Again, there are 2 big windows here, so there's lots of light.
What do you think, Carlos?
I think it's okay. How much?
£550 a month, including bills.
£550. So, when can we move in?
And welcome back to this week's Celebrity House Challenge. Now, this is the moment you have all been waiting for, as once again we go with Tina for a look inside a celebrity's home.
Thank you, David, and welcome to all you viewers out there. Well, here I am in one of the most luxurious homes I have ever been in, and just look at this wonderful lounge. In the middle is a superb leather sofa that can seat no less than 6 people. And in front, there is this marvellous coffee table, made of wood with a glass top. The book on the coffee table is an atlas of the world, so perhaps that's one clue to the identity of our mystery famous person. It seems they're adventurous and enjoy travel. On the wall behind the sofa is a great painting, a fine example of modern art. This person is clearly very cultured and has excellent taste. And opposite the sofa is the television. And what a television it is! A huge, state-of-the-art, widescreen TV. And there are so many videos and DVDs here. So, this person must surely be a movie fan. The floor is polished wood, which gives the whole room an elegant feel. Near the door to the kitchen, there are some children's toys on the floor. So, this person must have a family. Well, what else can I say here? Oh, there are some beautiful flowers in the window. They add a feminine touch to the room. And together with the lady's handbag here on the sofa, you might think this person is a woman. Oh, yes, and one more thing. Behind the sofa, against the wall, there's a very modern desk with a computer and lots of work-like things. So this person probably needs to use a computer for their work. And they may even work from home. So, David, who lives in a house like this? It's back to you in the studio.
And so, moving on into the lounge now, what were you thinking of here?
Well, it's rather dingy and dark in here, so we'd like to have more lighting. Can you give us some ideas?
I see what you mean. If we have a large lamp here in the corner, it will help throw some light on the sofa. That'll give a soft, warm glow, very atmospheric.
Oh, that's a good idea, isn't it, darling?
Yes, but what about the walls? Don't you think we should have lights there?
Yes. If we use what we call occasional lighting, then again that should help balance things up. Just a few small lamps around the walls that you can have on to make the room brighter when you need to. The main light here in the center looks a bit insubstantial.
Yes, and it's too low. I hit my head on it sometimes. I'd prefer something closer to the ceiling.
Certainly, perhaps a larger uplight here, so the light shines up rather than down.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I was wondering about changing the blinds too. I think curtains might be better.
Yes, and you really want a mix of tones here. Otherwise, everything looks the same. There are too many dark tones, so I'd suggest cream silk-lined curtains to contrast with this beautiful black sofa.
But the carpet's cream. Won't that be a bit too much?
I was coming to the carpet. We need a mixture of textures here, so I'd like to suggest we get rid of the carpet and have a wooden floor.
Oh, now that's an idea.
Yeah.
A wooden floor would bring a natural, earthy texture to the room. And if we have some bamboo here in the corner near the television, then this would make a very strong impact, I think.
And how much would all this cost?
Well, what I'll do is...
Okay, let's open this and start.
Quick! Read the first clue.
Go to the clock and turn left. Take the first right and I'm out of sight. What?
Come on. There's the clock. Straight ahead. Let's go. Okay. Here's the clock. What's next? And turn...
turn left. Take the first right. Over there. Come on. Okay, here we are. And I'm out of sight. What am I?
Oh, look. Over there, next to the supermarket, there's an optician's. Out of sight must mean opticians. That's the answer for number 1. Quick, write it down.
Okay, number 1. Opticians. Okay. Clue number 2. On the corner, on the left, what do you see? Is it time for tea? What's on...
Over there, on the corner, on the left, it's a cafe. Time for tea.
Okay, I'll write cafe here. Next, number 3. Go back, find the school, turn left, and try to look cool.
Come on then. Back to the school.
There's the school again, straight in front of us. Turn left and try to look cool. Okay, so we go left down here. Over there. There's a clothes shop. Try to look cool. What do you think?
Okay, write it then.
Clothes shop.
What's clue number 4?
Let's see. Clue number 4. Go to the end and round the bend. On your left, there's a place to send.
I guess we keep going up here then.
Come on.
Okay, so this is the bend. Let me see that. On your left, there's a place to send. That must be the post office. Over there, on the left.
Brilliant! Well done. Okay, now for the last clue. Go through the park and pass the station. Here's where to look if you want information.
Through the park. Okay, up there. Let's go.
Okay, and past the station must mean we go past the train station.
Right. Keep going. I think we're going to win.
The last bit says, here's where to look if you want information. Well, where's that then?
Oh, of course. It's the library. Over there on the right.
That's it! Number 5. Library. That's it!
Quick, let's go back to the school and see if we're the first.
Yeah, come on. I wonder what the treasure will be. Oh.
Order! Order! Welcome everyone. Welcome to this public information meeting. Now, we have many things on today's agenda, but I think it best if we start with the main issue, which I'm sure is why so many of you are here tonight, the new bypass. Mr. Johnson, you are Director of the Stockton City Planning Department. Can I ask you to explain the plan and the reasons for the bypass?
Yes, Madam Chair. The City Council feels that a bypass is needed north of Stockton to take traffic away from the city centre. As you all know, there are just too many cars and lorries driving through Stockton. Now, I know local residents may not like the idea, but the best place for the bypass is through the Lee Valley. There is simply no alternative. The Lee Valley is close to Stockton, the ground is ideal for road building, and it is the cheapest option we have.
Order! Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Now, may I ask Sarah Wilson, the leader of the Save Lee Valley group, to explain the objections.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We residents of Lee Valley strongly object to plans for the bypass going through our countryside. The Lee Valley is the most beautiful, unspoilt area in the region. We mustn't destroy it forever. We must preserve it. What's more, it's an important historical site too. There are many ancient Roman remains here that the bypass would completely destroy. And finally, Madam Chair, we residents do not want 20,000 vehicles a day passing our homes. This would cause too much pollution. The plan is totally unacceptable.
Order! Thank you, Mrs. Wilson. Now, are there any questions?
Welcome to New York City Tours. This is an automated announcement. See all of Manhattan from the comfort of a double-decker bus. There are over 40 stops, so you can hop on and hop off all day. Enjoy an interesting and fact-filled recorded narration as you travel through the most famous uptown and downtown neighborhoods, from Times Square and Central Park to Greenwich Village, St. Patrick's Cathedral, and many more. Come and explore this wonderful city with New York City Tours. Please note, tours are in English only and start every hour from Times Square. $75 per adult, $50 for children under 16. For just $20 extra, you can also choose an optional harbor cruise to see the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. Tickets are valid for 24 hours. Press 1 to book now. Press 2 to hear this message again. Press 3 to...
Can I help you?
Yes, you can actually. We came back from Bermuda last night. This is the brochure of the holiday you sold us.
Oh, yes. Did you have a nice time?
No, we didn't. My wife and I are both very angry.
Oh, dear. What was the problem?
Well, to start with, we had to pay £20 extra each for airport tax. But it says here in the brochure, airport tax is included.
Oh, yes. So it does.
And our room didn't have a sea view. We paid extra for a sea view, but all we got was a view of the car park at the back of the hotel.
Oh, dear. This is very serious. I think we should fill out a complaint form. Now, what are your names?
It's Mr. and Mrs. Caldwell. That's Caldwell.
Okay. And the holiday was in Bermuda?
Yes, 2 weeks, from the 10th to the 24th of February.
10th to 24th of February. And today is the 25th. Okay. Do you have your customer number?
It's here on the receipt. DW83247.
Oh, yes. OK. Now, you had to pay £20 each for airport tax. And the hotel room had no sea view.
Yeah, and you can add that the food in the hotel was terrible.
I couldn't eat a thing. We lived on sandwiches, didn't we, darling?
Yes, I lost 1 kilo in weight.
Oh, so the food in the hotel was terrible. Oh dear.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
I'll send this complaint to our head office and I'll phone you when I get a reply. Can I have your telephone number?
It's Walton 893 2443.
Walton 893 2443. OK. Well, I'm very sorry about this.
It was an awful experience. We want our money back.
I'll see what I can do. Our apologies once again.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Another one for the bin.
What about you, Tina? Have you got a story about a journey you remember?
Yes, I have, actually. There's one journey I'll never forget.
Oh, really?
Right. Tell us about it. It was about 6 years ago. I was going to Hong Kong from London. The flight was early in the morning, so the night before, I stayed in a hotel near the airport. Well, I was in a holiday mood that night.
Oh, yeah.
And so I went to the hotel bar and ordered a drink, to celebrate. And I got talking to some other people. We had a great time, and anyway, when I left the bar, it was about 3 in the morning. The flight was at 6 o'clock, so it wasn't really worth going to sleep.
So what did you do?
I watched TV for a bit, but, well, I fell asleep, didn't I?
Oh, no.
When I woke up, it was after 5 o'clock. You have to get there early to check in, right?
Normally that's 2 hours before the flight.
So I panicked, grabbed my bags, and rushed outside looking for a taxi. Of course, no taxis anywhere.
Oh.
Luckily, after a few minutes running up and down the street, an airport bus came along.
Oh, that was lucky.
So I got on that. When I got there, it was actually nearly 6, so I thought, the gate will be closed. I've missed my plane. The whole terminal was empty, except for a huge crowd of people at one end. And luckily, that was the queue for my flight. It was delayed.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I was really pleased. But the delay went from 1 hour to 4 hours to finally 9 hours. 9 hours waiting in the airport. I slept on some chairs most of the time. Finally, at around 3 o'clock, the plane took off.
Oh.
But the worst part was yet to come.
Oh, no.
After a few hours, there was a huge storm, and the plane started bouncing around all over the place. I remember feeling it was like being in a washing machine. People were screaming, babies crying, food flying everywhere.
Oh.
I was really scared. And then, the worst thing of all, the oxygen masks dropped down.
Oh, no.
Suddenly, we were all staring at these yellow oxygen masks, and the feeling of fear, I just can't describe it.
What did you do?
I put my mask on and just sat there in absolute terror, with the plane bouncing all over the place and lightning outside the windows.
Oh.
Anyway, the plane didn't crash, thank God. And we got to Hong Kong okay in the end. But what a journey. I'll never forget it.
Welcome to our tour. Ghosts of the Tower of London, everyone. The tower has stood on this ground since 1066, when Duke William of Normandy invaded England. And throughout its history, it has been used as a prison and place of execution, which may be why, today, some people say this is one of the scariest places on earth. There are many tales of ghosts here. The ghost most people see is Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII. When she didn't give birth to a boy, she was beheaded on Tower Green in 1536. A headless female figure in a white dress has often been seen close to where she was executed, near Queen's House. She is also said to haunt the Chapel Royal, where the same headless figure has been seen leading a ghostly procession of lords and ladies down the aisle towards where her headless body is buried. The tower was also the scene of the infamous disappearance of the two princes, Edward, 12, and Richard, 9, who were thought to have been murdered in 1483. When their father, King Edward IV, died, his brother Richard took the boys to the tower for their protection, but they disappeared. Richard was later crowned Richard III. According to one story, guards in the late 15th century spotted the shadows of two small figures gliding down the stairs in the White Tower. Nearly 200 years later, in 1674, workmen found a chest beneath the stairway of the White Tower that contained the skeletons of two young children, recently proved by DNA testing to be the two princes.
I don't believe it's true.
Lady Jane Grey was just 17 when she was executed on the 12th of February 1554, after only 9 days as Queen to Henry VIII. Her ghost is said to appear on the anniversary of her death on the Salt Tower. Other ghostly appearances include the chained and headless body of Sir Walter Raleigh, who has often been seen in the Bywood Tower, and another ghost many people have seen is Henry's fifth wife, Catherine Howard. She ran away from her executioner, and her ghost has been seen running down the tower's hallway, screaming for help.
Oh, spooky.
Now, let's go further into the tower and see if we can find any of these ghosts.
Hello and welcome once again to What's Cooking, the program that shows you the quick and easy way to cook tasty meals. Now, today I'm going to show you how to make mushroom risotto. This is an easy dish to make. First, heat 25 grams of butter in a saucepan. Then add half a large onion, chopped, and cook for 3 minutes. And next, add 300 grams of sliced mushrooms and continue to cook for 2 minutes. And now we are ready for the arborio rice. 350 grams. Stir it well. And next, you need some liquid. About a liter of vegetable stock, together with 150 milliliters of dry white wine. Add the liquid a little at a time. Keep stirring and gradually add more stock until the rice is cooked. And here's one I started just before the program began. Smells great already. And finally, we're going to turn the heat off, add 40 grams of grated cheese, cover it, and let it stand for 5 minutes. Okay, that's 5 minutes, so let's take a look at our risotto. And there you are, one perfect mushroom risotto. And next week, I'm going to show you one of my favorite desserts.
Table for two, sir.
Yes, please.
Can I get you any drinks?
2 glasses of water, please, and the menu.
We have a standard set lunch menu. Here you are. There are 3 courses. You can choose 1 dish for each course.
Thank you.
Here is your water. Have you decided what to order?
It all looks so good. What is the pork satay exactly?
It's pieces of pork in a peanut butter sauce. Quite sweet. Very tasty.
That sounds delicious. I'll have that to start with.
Very good. 1 pork satay. And for you, sir?
Are the spring rolls very spicy?
Not too spicy, sir, no. But they come with a sweet chili sauce.
I think I'll have the chicken and coconut soup, thanks.
Fine. And what would you like for main course, madam?
What's the difference between the red curry and the green curry?
The red curry is made from red chilies, so it's a bit hotter. The green curry is milder and more creamy.
Green prawn curry for me then, thanks.
And the same for me. And for dessert, I'll have the fruit salad.
And I'll have the fried banana, thanks.
Very good, madam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Part 2.
Well, I couldn't eat another thing. That fruit salad was great.
Yes, it looked really fresh.
How about your fried banana? You haven't eaten much.
It's a bit too sweet for my taste.
That's a shame.
The pork satay was fantastic, though, and the green curry was pretty good, too. I enjoyed the meal.
So did I. The best part for me was the soup. I agree the green curry was okay, but it wasn't anything special. Anyway, overall, it was worth it. I'll be coming here again, that's for sure.
Me too. Perhaps we should make this a regular thing, Brian. Every Friday.
That sounds like a nice idea, Tracy. Why not?
Was everything all right with your meal?
Great,
Great,
thanks.
thanks.
Would you like any coffees or anything?
No, thanks. Just the bill. We must get back to work.
Radio City. It's the Big Breakfast Show with Mike Martin.
Good morning, America. I'm Mike Martin, and what a lovely morning it is here today with the sun shining, and doesn't it just feel so good to be alive? Don't you feel great? Well, if you don't, then listen up, because today's topic is how to live a better and healthier life. Joining us here in the studio to start things off, we have expert Sonia Tarrington from the University of California's Nutrition Research Center. Hi, Sonia. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Mike. Glad to be here.
Sonia, your job title is nutritionist. Now, what on earth do you do?
Well, a nutritionist is basically a food scientist. That means I examine the effect food has on our bodies.
So you mean you find out what is in, say, an apple that makes it a healthy food to eat?
More or less, Mike. You see, unhealthy eating causes all kinds of health problems, such as obesity and even heart disease. It's an area the government is very interested in now, as it has to spend millions of dollars every year fighting these problems. That's why programs like the University of California's Nutrition Research Center were set up. We hope to show people how to eat themselves to better health.
Eat yourself to better health. That sounds too good to be true. Shouldn't we be dieting or something?
Not necessarily. You really don't have to go on a diet to eat healthily. You can eat just as much as before, but by choosing the right combination of foods, then you'll become healthier.
Great. Can you give poor slobs like me any details here, Sonia?
Sure. The best thing you can probably do is add 1 extra vegetable to your main meal. Oh, and always cook vegetables by stir-frying. It's quick and easy, plus they keep their goodness.
Great advice. And I guess people like me who tend to snack on chocolate and cakes should swap to, say, fruit and health bars instead, right?
That's right. There's really no trick to it. It's just common sense.
So why do people like you get such huge salaries? Only joking, Sonia. Seriously, though, the message is keep away from fries and burgers?
Yes, and red meat. White meat, such as chicken or pork, is far healthier.
And my mom always said you should grill meat, too. Is that right?
Yes. Grilling removes more fat. You see...
And what about fish? My mom always made us eat fish on Fridays. Was she right? I hated fish.
Your mom was right again, Mike. At least once or twice a week you should eat fish. It's full of goodness and very easy to digest.
Okay then, Sonia. So, are you telling us that lots of fresh fruit, veg, and healthy things like that will make us live longer?
Well, the statistics suggest yes. You'll live a longer and healthier life. In fact, some research shows that eating more fruit and vegetables can reduce your risk of cancer by as much as 20%.
Amazing. Well, we'll be back with Sonia right after the ads.
Hi. Thanks for coming. It's great to see you. Come in. Now, let me tell you about my friends. Over there, that's my best friend, Susan. Can you see her? She has long black hair, quite tall and slim. She's wearing jeans and a t-shirt. Oh, you'll like her because she's friendly and she can be very funny. We were at school together. We had so many laughs. Then over there is Kevin. He's the one wearing the suit. He's serious, but very kind. He's a teacher. I'm sure the kids love him. Next to him in the shorts is Sam. He always wears shorts, whatever the weather. He's crazy, but he's interesting too. Ask him about his visit to India. Oh, and there's Mary dancing over there. The one wearing the dress. She's really clever, but she studies all the time. She's so hard-working, you wouldn't believe it. Anyway, how about a drink before I introduce you?
Hi, Sally. Long time no see. What are you doing here?
Oh, hi, Kay. Same as you, I expect. Just shopping.
Great. Is that a new dress?
Yes, it is. I got it yesterday. Do you like it?
Well, it's very short for you, isn't it, Sally?
Short is in this summer. Didn't you know?
Oh, I don't read any of those fashion magazines.
I can tell you don't. Well, this is the latest fashion. From Milan.
Oh, I know it's popular. I've seen that kind of dress a lot. It seems everyone is wearing it these days. I prefer something more individual.
Yes. So I see. What exactly is that you're wearing?
It's a pair of shorts, but it looks like a skirt. See?
Oh, yes. How original. Did you make it yourself?
No.
Marvellous. but I'm just not sure it's quite you, Kay.
Oh, really, Sally? Well, never mind. Perhaps it's too sophisticated for you.
No, I don't think it's that. But you're right. I can't see me in it somehow. Anyway, must hurry. I've got more shopping to do.
Well, good luck, Sally. Keep reading those magazines.
Thanks, Kay. Perhaps you should buy some too.
Now, today's lecture is the fourth in our series of lectures on the changing face of beauty. This week, I'll look at beauty in the modern world. Of course, remember also that I'm not just referring to female beauty, but concepts of male beauty too. Certainly, images of beautiful women or men are all around us. You can find them in fashion magazines, on TV, in movies. We all know what beautiful people look like, even if we are not beautiful ourselves. Yet, even in the modern world, what we see as beautiful is constantly changing. In the 1890s, the actress Lillian Russell was called the most beautiful woman in the world. She was 165 pounds, that is 75 kilos. In 1967, the fashion model Twiggy was seen as the perfection of beauty, and she weighed just 91 pounds, which is 41 kilos. A big change in our perception of beauty in quite a short time. In the desire to be perfect, many people decide to change their appearance through surgery. Cosmetic surgery, which started as long ago as 1910, aims to improve our physical appearance. Then it was an expensive luxury. Now it's almost routine. Men who want more hair can have hair transplants or pec implants for a more masculine chest. Women have facelifts or tummy tucks to remove fat. The problem is not the size of your stomach or the amount of hair on your head. The problem is that today, more than in any other time in history, we choose to identify ourselves by our appearance. We all want to be beautiful because we all think beautiful people lead better lives. Another common way we try to change our appearance is by dieting. Do you sometimes worry about your weight? Many people do. In 1950, diet products were worth $100 million a year. Today, the diet industry is worth over $50 billion a year. Excuse me, I'm looking for a bag.
Certainly, madam. This bag is very popular. It opens at the top here, like this, and has a nice pattern around the middle.
Do you have a smaller one?
No, it's only in this size, but it's very easy to carry.
I see. I think I'll leave it, thanks. Excuse me, how much is this radio?
That one, it's $39.99.
Oh dear.
But it's a very good radio. It's a cassette player too, as you can see. And it's light and portable, easy to carry.
Okay. I need a radio to take to the beach, so I'll have it. Oh no, it's raining. Is this umbrella in the sale?
No, only those ones over there, with the straight handle.
How much are they?
£7.50. That's half price.
It's a bit small.
Yes, but it can fit in your bag.
Okay, I'll take this one.
Okay, quiet please. Can everyone hear me? Welcome to the Thames Barrier. As you can see, the barrier goes right across the River Thames. It is 520 metres wide and took 8 years to build. It was completed in 1982. Can you see those big things that look like hats? They're called piers. There are 9 of them. Each pier is 50 metres high from top to bottom. Between them, you can see the steel gates. There are 10 gates in total. 6 of these gates rise up out of the water in order to form a barrier. The 4 largest of these steel gates are 61 metres wide and weigh 1,500 tons each. When they're not in use, these gates lie flat in concrete sills on the river bed. Down there also are 2 service tunnels. When there is a danger of flooding, these 6 gates are raised to form a barrier between the piers. When raised, each is as high as a 5-storey building. The other 4 gates are smaller, and they are lowered into the water. On the front of each pier are some navigation lights. A red cross means the gate is closed, and a green arrow means it's open. The gates are powered by electricity. The power packs are immediately below the steel roofs, inside the hats. The Thames Barrier protects London from flooding. This is necessary because every 100 years the water in the river rises 75 centimetres. This is due mostly to global warming, but also in part because the south of England is sinking slowly. But the rising water level isn't the main threat. The main danger of flooding comes from sudden big waves that come in from far out to sea. These are called tidal surges. So far, the barrier has protected London against flooding nearly 70 times. 750,000 people living in London are in danger from flooding, so it's very important to them. It wasn't cheap. It cost over £535 million to build. But this is a lot less than it would cost to repair any damage to London if the city was flooded. Now, are there any questions?
Artist number 5, Jackson Pollock.
Jackson Pollock was an American painter, born in 1912. He was the most famous of the American abstract expressionist painters. Pollock had a very original style of painting. He did not use an easel, but spread his canvases on the floor. Sometimes he worked outside, so he could feel closer to nature. It was essential, he said, to walk around it, work from all 4 sides, and be in the painting. He often used materials from the surrounding environment actually in his paintings. He mixed sand and broken glass into some paintings. He sometimes added cigarettes, nails, buttons, coins, whatever was nearby that seemed appropriate. Jackson Pollock didn't paint in the normal way. Rather, he let the paint dribble from the brush and fall onto the canvas. He would often use a stick and flick, splash, dab, and drip the paint onto the canvas. In fact, Pollock's paintings are often called drip paintings, although dripping was only one part of the process. Sometimes Pollock simply put a hole in the bottom of the paint can and let the paint flow onto the canvas from there. He scratched and smeared them with his hands and named them with numbers. He used cans of ordinary house paint rather than oil paint. Pollock had an intense and energetic style. His shocking new technique
demonstrated physical movement in his work known as action painting. Each painting was more like a performance. He would almost dance around the painting, flicking and splashing paint. He had no predetermined format in mind when he began painting. He just let the paint lead the way, apparently at random. This spontaneous approach has led some people to think, my 5-year-old child could do that. Some critics agreed, saying his work lacks technique and is simply chaotic rather than artistic. However, others said he had a unique style that simply cannot be copied. Pollock himself insisted, there is no accident. The painting has a life of its own. I try to let it come through. Here we can see one of his most famous drip paintings, Number 1, also called Lavender Mist, painted in 1950. 3 meters long, the canvas is alive with lines and shapes that never let the eye rest. We are kept constantly searching. It has a fresh, active feel. Although now this style of abstract expressionism is out of fashion, Pollock had a great effect on the history of modern art.
Here we go then. Go on, Judith. Put your name in.
Right. Surname, Black. First name, Judith. Sex.
Duh. Female.
Occupation, student.
Children.
No, you know that. Now, username.
How about lovely lady?
Oh, yes, that's good. Lovely lady. All one word. Okay.
Okay. Next bit. Let's see.
I am looking for a man, 20 to 24, for romance.
Now, leisure interests. What do you think?
Pop music, pubs, and travel.
What about countryside? You like walking, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Countryside.
Anything else?
No, that's enough. Now, I think I am...
I'll tell you what you are. Kind.
Okay.
Fashionable.
Thanks.
And, interesting.
Oh, thanks very much. And I think I'm a bit shy too.
You? No way. You can't say that.
Only joking. Now, let's search and see who we find. This is hopeless, Sarah. They're all so ugly.
Wait. What about him? Number 44.
James Hill. Attractive, friendly, sports, blah, blah. Trip around Europe. Well, he's good looking, I suppose.
Sure is. And fun too.
He's tall, which is nice. And what about his job? Manager.
That's okay. I bet he's rich.
But I think he's not very serious. I mean, a trip round Europe? And I don't like his hair. Who's the next one? Simon.
He isn't very attractive.
No. And he seems a bit too serious, if anything. Marriage and all that. But he's a teacher, and so am I. So that's good. And I love dogs. He has too.
He likes the countryside, same as you. And I think he looks quite kind.
Yes. Okay. So maybe...
Go on then. Email him.
What? Now?
Thank you, Kevin Edwards, for that short speech. Now, next we have Indira Komandur.
My talk is about arranged marriage. I'm 17. My parents are already starting to look for a husband for me. In a few years, I shall marry a man that they choose. Now, you're probably thinking, that's terrible. How awful. But I don't think so, and I'm going to explain why. Most people confuse arranged marriage with forced marriage. A forced marriage is one where you have no choice. However, when my parents choose a husband for me, if I don't like him, I can tell them and they will find me another. I have a choice. It's just that my parents do the looking for me. I think that's a good idea. After all, they know who I am. They know me better than I know myself, and I trust them to find a good man who will make me happy. They wouldn't choose a bad man for me to marry, would they? In Britain, though, people just hope to find their marriage partner at work, or in a pub, or at a party. This means it must be hard to meet the right person, I think. Perhaps that's why I see so many unhappy relationships and failed marriages. I would much rather trust my parents to find a husband for me than rely on luck. I think my marriage will have a very good chance of success. So when I say I'm looking forward to my arranged marriage, ask yourself, is it really such a crazy idea?
Hello?
Hi, Sophie. It's Elaine. How are you?
Elaine! Hi, I'm fine. I'm just preparing Tom's milk. He's hungry.
Oh, how is he?
Oh, he's fine, growing all the time.
And Philippe, is he okay too?
Yes, Philippe's fine. He's out at work just now. So anyway, what's up?
I've got some news.
Oh, yes? What?
I've left my job.
Oh, really? So suddenly?
Yeah, well, I had a row with the boss and he wouldn't change his mind, so I decided to quit, there and then.
Wow. How do you feel about it?
Relieved. It's a real weight off my mind. I wasn't enjoying it at all.
Good for you. So what will you do now?
That's what I'm phoning you about, actually. I'm coming to Paris.
Oh, Elaine, that's great.
Yes, I'm leaving next week. Actually, I've a favour to ask.
Yes?
Is it all right if I stay with you for a while? I don't have anywhere to stay and a hotel would be so expensive.
Oh, well, it's just, we only have one bedroom here.
That's okay. I can sleep on the couch.
But little Tom, he doesn't sleep much. We are awake most of the night right now.
That's okay. Maybe I can even help out. I can look after him if you like. Oh, go on, Sophie. It wouldn't be for long. Just until I find a job, and then I can get somewhere to live on my own.
It may not be that easy to find a job here, Elaine. There's a lot of unemployment now.
Oh, I'm sure I'll find something. Go on. It'll be fun.
Well, I'll have to ask Philippe.
Oh, great. Thanks so much, Sophie. You don't know how much this means to me.
But...
Listen, I have to go now, but I'll call you before I leave. Thanks so much, Sophie. See you at the airport. Bye!
Hi, I'm Jackie. Welcome to Abbey Health Club.
Thanks.
If you follow me, I'll give you a quick tour. Through there is the swimming pool.
Oh, yes. It looks good.
The pool's open all the time except for Thursday afternoons when it's closed for cleaning.
I see.
You can take classes in the pool if you like. We have swim for fitness classes on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 2 p.m. and water aerobics on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the morning at 10. All classes are an hour.
Okay, and where is the gym?
It's just up here.
Wow, It's big.
You can come here and exercise any time. There are lots of fitness classes. We've got aerobics, cycling, running, lots of things.
How about yoga? Is there a yoga class?
Sure. We have yoga for beginners on Mondays and Thursdays at 9:30 and intermediate yoga at 11:30 on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Great. Oh, and is there a car park?
Yes, but you have to pay about £1 for an hour, I think. We're open from 6 in the morning to 10 at night, Monday to Friday, and on Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. So, do you want to join?
How much is it?
Well, there's a joining fee of £70 and then you can choose the type of membership you want. When do you think you'll be coming?
Evenings and weekends, I guess.
Well, that's gold membership, so it'll be £50 a month.
I see. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you. See you soon, maybe.
Yes, maybe.
Now, I'm going to tell you a story, and I swear every word of it is true. 3 years ago, I started to feel very sick. I had terrible headaches. I felt tired all the time, and all my body ached. In the end, I went to hospital and had some tests. Well, when they told me the news, I couldn't believe it. They said I had a rare bone disease, and there was nothing they could do. They said that within just a few months, I would be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. Well, I decided I wouldn't give up without a fight. I've always been interested in alternative medicine, so when a friend told me about stories he'd heard of a kind of witch doctor in Indonesia who could work miracles, I decided to take a chance. I sold my house, said goodbye to my friends, and flew to Indonesia. When I got to Jakarta, I took a train and then 2 buses up into the mountains to this tiny village in the middle of nowhere. When I arrived, I asked people, "Yang Yang? Yang?" That's the name of the witch doctor my friend told me about. Then a small boy, he must have been 7 or 8, took my hand and led me out of the village and further up into the mountains. For 2 days we walked. I was in terrible pain the whole time, but I was determined to go on. Eventually, we reached a small hut, and I could see a strange man standing outside. He was short and covered in mud or something like that. He smiled and took me into his hut. I didn't say anything. He just seemed to know why I was there. Well, in the hut, it was really dark, but I could see lots of bowls all around, each full of some kind of herb or plant or something. He told me to lie down, and he put his hands on my head and started to sing. All of a sudden, I felt a great energy come into me. He did this for maybe half an hour, and then he gave me something to drink. I don't know what it was. It was a thick brown liquid, and it smelled awful, but I still drank it. Well, to cut a long story short, I stayed there for a week. Every day, the witch doctor did the same thing, and I drank the same liquid. After a week, the boy came back. I felt so good I almost ran back to Jakarta. When I got home, I went back to the same hospital and had the same tests, and guess what? The disease had completely gone. There was no sign of anything. They couldn't believe it. Like I say, that was 3 years ago, and here I am, still strong and healthy. Amazing.
Hey Bob, there's a health and fitness quiz in this magazine. Do you fancy having a go?
No.
There's a programme on TV I want to watch.
Oh, go on. It won't take long.
No.
Question 1. Do you eat at least 5 portions of fruit or vegetables every day?
Yes.
You big liar. I'll put rarely for that. Question 2. Do you smoke?
Smoke? Pretty much all the time.
Yes, you're like a chimney. Question 3. Do you exercise at least 3 times a week? That's easy. Never. Question 4. Do you take time to relax each day?
Oh, the chance would be a fine thing.
I'll put rarely. Question 5. Do you eat fast food?
I can't stand that rubbish.
Okay, never. Do you eat something healthy for breakfast?
Well, I always have cereal and toast.
Okay. Question 7. Do you sleep 7 to 8 hours a night?
Oh, yes, always. I've got to get my beauty sleep.
Shame it's not working.
Ha ha.
Question 8. Do you drink at least a litre of water a day?
A litre? No way. Unless I've had a curry.
I'll put rarely. Okay, last few questions now. Do you enjoy your hobbies and have a good social life?
No hobbies, really. But I go out 3 or 4 times a week, so...
I'll put sometimes for that. Next question. Do you feel stressed?
Stressed? All the time.
Okay. Now, let's see what your score is.
And welcome once again to People Today. Now it's time for our Eye on the World section with Mark Perkins. Mark?
Thanks, Anna. Yes, in tonight's Eye on the World, we go to Japan. Now, everyone knows people in Japan work long, hard hours. But just what do people do in their free time? Well, we did a survey of leisure activities in Japan, and here is the top 10. In first place is eating out. As you can see, eating out is by far the most popular free time activity. In second place comes, wait for it, driving. Yes, it appears Japanese people like nothing more than driving around cities and into the countryside in their free time. It may seem strange to you and me, but there you are. Next, in third place, is travel within Japan. To all those lovely temples and gardens, I guess. Fourth is, guess what, Anna?
I have no idea.
Karaoke, of course. Lots of people enjoy singing along with their favorite songs. Then, in fifth place, we have watching DVDs and videos, followed by listening to music. But just look what we have here in seventh place. Trips to museums and zoos. Then way down in eighth place comes going to bars, and after that, gardening. I guess not so many people in Japan have gardens. And finally, in 10th place, we have playing the lottery. And who wouldn't want to win lots of money? Back to you, Anna.
Thanks, Mark. Now, let's go to see what's happening.
And now, with the time just coming up to 1:30 here on Radio 4, it's time for You Collect What?
Welcome, listeners, to another exciting programme of You Collect What? I'm Sandra Marshall, and this is the show where each week we ask a collector to talk about their unusual collection. But first, you have to guess what it is. Today's collector of strange and wonderful things is Jennifer Wilson. Now, Jennifer, can you tell us a little about your collection?
Yes. I keep them all over my house. I have over 1,000 altogether, and...
Over 1,000? How big are they?
Oh, they're fairly small and they fold away easily, so I keep most of them in cupboards.
And what do these mysterious things look like?
Well, they are very colourful and beautiful to look at. They come in many different shapes. Some are in the shape of animals or people or cartoon characters like Mickey Mouse.
Are they different sizes too?
No, they're all the same size.
And can you give us a clue about what they're used for?
Well, you put them over something else, something very normal and boring to make it look more interesting.
Oh, yes. Is whatever you put these things over something useful? Perhaps something you'd use every day?
Yes, especially if you're sad or have a cold.
Well, thank you, Jennifer Wilson. Now, listeners, it's over to you.
Do you mind if I sit here?
No, not at all. Go ahead.
I'm James. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Lucy.
What class are you doing?
Advanced woodwork.
Oh, that sounds good. Do you like it?
It's okay, I guess.
Only okay?
It's a bit too hard for me, actually. I can't really understand what to do half the time.
Oh dear. Why don't you change to an easier class? I think there's a beginner's woodwork class, isn't there?
Yes, but I like the teacher, Mr. Benson. He says I just have to be more patient. So I'll try. How about you?
I'm doing yoga.
Nice. I bet that's fun.
I love it. It's really relaxing. The teacher's from India, Mrs. Nara. Maybe you've seen her. She wears Indian clothes.
I think I remember reading something about a Mrs. Nara in...
Oh, look at the time. I'd better go. My class starts at 7.
Quick, you don't want to be late.
Isn't yours starting too?
No, mine's at 7:30.
Lucky you.
OK, James. See you later, maybe?
Yeah. See you later, Lucy.
Oh, yes, I remember my first day at school. Infant school, that is. I remember feeling very proud when my mother walked with me through the main gate. There was so much noise and so many children that I got quite scared. Anyway, my mum took me to see the teacher. Mrs. Gossage was her name. Very nice teacher. And I remember feeling very nervous watching my mother leaving. But Mrs. Gossage looked after me, and she sat me down with the other pupils in a big circle. Soon we started playing games, so I got very excited. I think it was after lunch that I met Emily, who later became my best friend. She was in another class, but all the new students were brought together to meet each other, and anyway, this was when I met Emily. I was so relieved to have a friend. Oh, yes, and in the afternoon we went swimming. But I couldn't swim, so I became very upset and started to cry. In fact, I wouldn't stop crying, so Mrs. Gossage phoned my mother, and she came to collect me early. I remember feeling very confused when I saw my mum. So much had happened. We went and had an ice cream, and then I felt calm again. But what a day. I'll never forget it.
Well, in Simon's final year at primary school, Charles and I visited the local secondary schools to find a good one for him, and, well, let's just say we were less than impressed.
Terrible. They were absolutely dreadful. I mean, in St. James's, there were 42 pupils in a class, And in Nuffield College, the teachers we saw knew less than the kids they were supposed to teach.
And what about Halliwell Community College?
Oh, don't remind me.
Oh, it was so rough. There was no discipline and the children seemed to be uncontrolled.
Shocking. That's why we decided to teach Simon at home.
Yes. Before I married, I was a teacher, so I'm qualified. And when we found out what was involved, it seemed the obvious thing to do.
Yes, the Home Education Advisory Service were absolutely wonderful. They gave us all the help we needed.
We decide what Simon learns, how and when. He still takes all the normal exams, though.
And his results are very good now.
And he used to be so unhappy at school. He was always saying he didn't want to go.
It's the best thing we could possibly have done as parents. You feel very proud when you see your son become more confident, mature, responsible and...
We're already thinking about sending him to Cambridge to study.
When my parents took me out of school and told me they were going to teach me at home, I thought they were mad. I mean, all my friends were there. But that's a year ago now, and it feels like such a long time. I love homeschooling now. Other kids have to get up early and go to school. Sometimes it takes them over an hour just to get there. But me, I don't have to travel to school. I can stay in bed. All I have to do is go downstairs. And there's no stupid uniform to wear either. And better food for lunch. I think I enjoy studying more because my mum knows what I like and how I learn best. My grades are better anyway, so something must be working. I see more of my parents than I would if I was at school, so I think I'm closer to them, especially my mum, than other kids who go to school all day. When other kids ask me, "What school do you go to?" and I say, "I don't go to school," they think I'm sad and like deprived or something. Some think my parents must be religious nuts or like really controlling, but they're not. Thousands of children are taught at home in this country. No one realises that. Anyway, I think I'm really lucky, and I know my parents want the best for me.
Come in. Hello. Yes. Take a seat. Now, you are...
Tom. Tom Baker.
Tom Baker. Okay. My name is Kevin Bird, Tom, and I'm going to interview you today.
Hi.
Now then, how old are you, Tom?
19.
Okay. And what job are you applying for?
Waiter. Just a normal waiter.
Okay. Now, we have 2 shifts. That's 7 to 3 or 3 to 11 in the evening. Do you have any preference?
No, I don't mind. But I can only work Saturday and Sunday.
That's okay, Tom. Saturday and Sunday are our busiest days. Are you available from next Saturday?
Sure. That's the 18th, right?
Yes. Saturday the 18th. Great. But first, can you tell me if you have any experience? Our standards are pretty high here at the Happy Chicken.
Well, last summer, I worked for McDonald's for 3 months.
Right. How about as a waiter, though?
Oh, I worked over New Year in a local restaurant near my parents' home.
Oh, yes? And did you enjoy it?
Sure. It was okay. I speak Spanish, and there were lots of Spanish tourists, so I got good tips.
Great. So you speak Spanish. Excellent. Well, there are still some other candidates, so can you just give me your phone number and I'll be in touch?
Yes. It's 559-304.
559-304. Okay. Oh, when is the best time to contact you?
Evenings, between 5 and 8, I think.
Fine. Well, thanks very much for coming, Tom. See you again.
Thank you, Mr. Bird.
Call me Kevin.
Oh, thanks. Bye then.
Hi, Barry. How's things?
Oh, not so good.
How come? What's the matter?
I hate my new job. It really gets me down.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah. Every morning I have to get up at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock! That's a real bad start to the day. I used to get up at 10 or later. And there's no bus at that time, so I have to cycle 5 miles to get to work. It's cold and rainy every day.
Yes, the weather's pretty bad at the moment.
When I get to work, I have to make the boss a cup of coffee. I mean, can't he get his own coffee? I feel like a servant. And when I start work, it's the same thing all the time. Just answering the phone to hear people complain and complain.
Oh, right. You're in customer services, aren't you?
Yeah, customer disservices more like. The things those salespeople tell them, really. Listening to all these customers moaning over the phone, I tell you, it makes me depressed.
So I see. Well, at least you get a free lunch.
You mean used to? Now we have to pay. That's another problem. It costs me around £5 just to eat. And that's more than I get paid for an hour's work. I'm losing money.
Well, at least you finish work early.
Yeah, but when I get home around 4, I'm too tired to do anything. My social life is 0 right now.
Why don't you quit then?
Quit? Are you mad? It's the best job I've had.
Well, I'm standing on the shop floor here at Grundy Electronics, one of Manchester's most advanced electrical component manufacturers. And I'm here because, well, the managers here have come up with a rather novel way to boost productivity. I'm joined by John Faircastle, who is head of human resources. John, can you tell the viewers exactly what this extraordinary plan is?
Of course. Well, we recently hired a feng shui expert to come to the factory and basically redesign everything from the managing director's office to the factory floor, where we are now.
Wow! Can you explain to viewers what a feng shui expert is, or does?
Well, feng shui is the ancient art of balancing different energies and forces to make a more harmonious environment. We believe that by positioning certain things in certain ways, using feng shui, we can create positive working conditions.
Sounds confusing.
Not really. It simply means balancing the 5 essential elements of water, wood, fire, earth and metal.
So how does that work in a place like this, John?
Well, water helps with relaxation and fights stress. So we placed water dispensers throughout the building. And outside you may have noticed the pond we installed in the centre of the car park.
With the fountain in?
That's right. Then there's wood. Wood helps with creativity and flexibility. So we put all wooden furniture in the offices and wooden flooring too.
Right. But what about fire? You can't have fire in an office, can you? That'd be dangerous.
Well, the fire element is good for originality and enthusiasm. The colour red represents the fire element, so we have red walls everywhere, and all the pictures have red picture frames too.
I see. And earth? What's that good for?
The earth element helps organisation and stability. We use bricks to channel this energy, so that's why you see so many brick walls. Plus, of course, the earth-coloured tiles in the bathrooms.
Okay, that's clever. There's one more element to balance, isn't there? What's that again?
Metal. Metal helps strength and determination. We have metal filing cabinets and metal blinds in every office.
Wow! And have any of these changes made a difference?
Well, in the 3 months since the changes were made, we have lost 20% fewer days through sickness.
So your employees are healthier?
That seems to be the case. Certainly they come to work more often.
So there you have it. Proof, if anyone needed, that the 5,000-year-old art of feng shui is alive and well here in Manchester. Now, back to the studio.
Hi, Brian. What are you doing?
I'm just trying to work out how much I spend a month.
Oh, that's why you look so sad.
It's terrible. I spend about £30 a month just on books.
Oh, that's a lot.
And my rent is £50 a week. So that's another £200 a month.
Oh, yeah, rent's a killer.
Then there's food. About £30 a week on that. So that's £120 just to eat every month.
Yes, but what about going out and stuff? That costs me a fortune.
Me too. I think about £150 a month. And another 50 on eating out.
Oh, guess what? I heard the bus fares are going up.
Oh, great. It already costs me £7 a week just to get to college and back. That's £28 on transport already.
What's that in the bag?
CDs. I bought 2 this morning in town.
So don't complain to me about having no money then.
Hey, I like music. Anyway, I only buy about 2 a month, so it doesn't cost more than, say, £20.
Still.
It's not easy making ends meet, you know. Look at these jeans. Look, I need a new pair.
So buy some.
I've already spent £50 on clothes this month. That's my limit.
Well, my parents sent me some money this morning, so I'm off shopping. I need a new dress.
Parents, eh? Now there's an idea.
Don't buy that, Jane. It's a waste of money.
Don't talk to me about wasting money, Rodney. You're an expert at it.
No, I'm not. I've no idea what you mean.
How about that barbecue you bought last summer?
I thought it would be nice to have parties in the garden.
We've only used it once. You spent over £300 on it.
Well, it's too complicated. Anyway, you can't talk. What about those boots of yours? The ones you got on holiday last Christmas? You said you needed them for going out, but I've never seen you in them once.
They don't fit me.
Well, it was a bit stupid to buy them then, just because you fancied the shop assistant.
I did not fancy him, actually, Rodney. He was just being helpful, that's all.
Sure. How much did they cost?
About £200. That's still less than your stupid barbecue.
Oh, shut up, Jane. You're boring.
Simon, where are those sunglasses of yours?
I gave them to Mark.
But you only got them in July. I've never even seen you wear them. How much were they?
50 quid.
No, they weren't. They were more like 150. Why did you buy them if you were never going to wear them?
I thought they'd make me look cool, but you said they made me look like a fly.
Well, they did. What a waste. You look like a fly anyway.
Thanks. At least I'm not the one who's spent a fortune on a computer I never used.
What? Oh, stop going on about that, will you? I thought I needed it for work.
Right. You got it in February, and all you did was play a game on it and then sell it in April for a loss.
Oh, give it a rest.
You paid about £1,000, didn't you? And sold it for 600 after just 2 months.
Well, work gave me one, so I didn't need it.
Pity you didn't check first, isn't it, Kate?
Right, that's it. I'm sick of your criticism, Simon. We're finished.
Well, in 1999, I lived in Portugal, and one day I saw this computer in a second-hand shop. So, because I didn't have a computer, and this was very cheap, I bought it.
Why not?
Right.
There was no box, but I didn't think it was important. Anyway, when it was time to leave Portugal and return to Britain, I packed all my bags, but of course there was no box for this computer.
Typical.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. Then, in the local market, I saw lots of wooden boxes, you know, for fruit and vegetables and things.
Oh, yeah.
So I picked one up thinking, this is perfect. Well, no, you see, because suddenly a very angry man came up and started shouting at me.
Why?
He owned the boxes and told me I had to pay. Oh. Well, I paid, of course, and that was that.
All right.
Well, when I got to the airport, I was a bit worried. I thought that maybe I had too much luggage.
As usual.
Sure enough, at check-in, they told me that I had too much luggage and I had to pay extra for the computer.
You're joking.
Yeah, they told me to take it to the excess baggage section in another part of the airport. When I got there, they weighed it and told me I was 15 kilos overweight and that I had to pay £40 a kilo.
Oh, I don't believe
That
it.
was £600.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
I became very angry, of course, and we had a discussion.
Imagine.
Eventually, I paid £280,
That's a lot.
which was more than I paid for the computer itself. And when I collected my bags at Heathrow Airport, the computer and the box were all broken.
OK, that's the end of the class. Don't forget your homework for tomorrow.
Wow, I like that ghost story. Do you think it's true?
Oh, no, I don't think so. It's just in a book.
Let's ask him. Do you believe in ghosts, Martin?
Oh, I did have a strange experience once.
Really?
Yes, about 7 years ago. A friend of mine and I were sitting in my grandmother's lounge talking.
Oh, yes?
My grandmother has a big old house near London, and anyway, she was in the garden, and my friend and I were in the lounge, and suddenly we heard a noise upstairs. It wasn't a big noise. We thought maybe a mouse or something. Anyway, we went upstairs, and it seemed to be coming from my grandmother's bedroom.
Did you go in?
Yes, we went inside and, well, it was amazing, really. All the furniture in my grandmother's bedroom was on the left side of the room, and the carpet was neatly rolled up on the other side of the room. And this furniture is really heavy. A very heavy wardrobe, chest of drawers, bed. These things would take 4 men to lift. It was really scary.
Wow.
And all we heard was a tiny noise, for no more than around a minute. My grandmother said it happened once before too. The really scary thing is, she didn't seem to mind.
One. Oh, yes. It was in late July 2002. I had just left college and I felt fantastic. I was young, healthy. I had the whole world at my feet. No more exams. I swore I'd never take another exam. I was making plans to go abroad, see some of the world. I felt so free. I used to meet my friends from college in the evenings and we'd talk about all our plans. 2.
About 2 years ago. That was when I set up my own pizza delivery company. I was really optimistic and felt sure that things were going to go great. I had contracts with 3 big pizza restaurants and had just employed 6 delivery staff. I was so proud.
3.
The best day of my life was on September the 1st, 2000. It was around 8:30 at night. I was in a restaurant with Maria, my girlfriend at the time, and I had just asked her to marry me. She said yes. I felt so relieved. We ordered champagne, and I was absolutely elated.
4.
Oh, yes, that's easy. 3 months ago. My beautiful baby Jason was born then. He has the most marvelous blue eyes and blonde hair. I was exhausted. My husband was with me, and he filmed everything on our camcorder. It was an unforgettable experience, and I remember feeling very different. I was a mother now.
5.
For me, it was probably on holiday last year in Brazil. I went to the Rio Carnival. It was absolutely amazing. There were tens of thousands of people all just having a good time. I was so excited. The music played all day and night. I did the samba until my feet ached so much I could hardly stand up. I was so tired by the end. What an amazing party! I mean, just out of this world.
And now, with the time just coming up to 3 o'clock here on Radio 4, it's Science Today.
Hello and welcome to Science Today. My name is Clive Wilson. For today's programme, I have come to the South Australian desert to find out about an exciting new type of engine, the scramjet. Just yesterday, the scientists here successfully sent a rocket 200 miles up into the air. Now, maybe you think that's not so special, but this rocket had a special engine, what's called a scramjet engine that breathes air. During this test, it travelled at 7 times the speed of sound. Now that's fast. That means that a journey from London to Sydney, for example, which now takes 20 hours, could take just 2 hours. To help us understand the science behind all this, here is Dr. Simon Green, the chief scientist. Dr. Green, tell us more.
Yes, well, this engine works by using the oxygen in the air to burn the fuel, but it can only do this at very high speeds. You see, when the...
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Space Society. To live in the 21st century is to live in an age where communication and technology seem to rule our world. And almost inevitably, we find ourselves thinking about human settlement of other planets. Tonight, the topic of our debate is the colonization of other planets. Here with us, we have Dr. Timothy Brown and Dr. Sandra Wilkins. Dr. Brown, may I ask you to speak first?
Thank you. Let me start by making one thing clear. Colonization of other planets is certain. It's only a matter of time. Oh, and of course, money. To build a spaceship capable of carrying hundreds of people is not cheap. However, once built, all a spaceship needs is enough fuel, food, water, and oxygen, and colonization becomes a reality. I see 3 steps to colonization. First, we need to know how to live in space. And, thanks to the International Space Station, this step is already achieved. The next logical step is to establish a colony on the Moon, and then step 3 on Mars, our nearest planet. Imagine how much we can discover about a planet by living there. Imagine also, if we set up powerful telescopes on the Moon or Mars, how much more we can learn about the universe. It is mankind's destiny to colonize other planets. We must not fail in this challenge.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Brown. And now, may I ask Dr. Sandra Wilkins to speak?
Thank you, and thank you to Dr. Brown for that interesting speech. I am glad the good doctor referred to money. Just think for a moment how much money colonization of the Moon or Mars or any other planet would take. Billions and billions and billions of dollars to put a handful of people on a dead planet. The fact is, colonization is just too expensive. People may talk of huge resources of copper, diamonds, and other precious minerals on other planets, but no one knows they are there. We should spend the money on this planet, on feeding people and protecting Earth's environment, rather than make foolish and costly trips into space.
Many thanks, Dr. Wilkins. And now, are there any questions from the audience?
Could I...
I have a question.
Yes, the lady over there.
Thank you for coming, everyone. As you know, it is our job here at Future Design Technologies to predict market trends before they happen. This forward thinking allows us to advise our clients so they can be first on the market. Now, today's presentation will show how we see the development of the motor car in the short to medium term, and that is why we've invited all of you here today. Let's start with power. It's clear that petrol-driven engines have no future. Already there are many AFVs. For those of you who don't know, that means alternative fuel vehicles on the market, powered by anything from propane to solar power to natural gas. In fact, as long ago as the 1930s, vehicles were running on natural gas. Some independent thinkers have even produced cars that run on vegetable oil. But, as we all know, of all these alternative fuel vehicles, the most practical are EVs, or electric vehicles. Sure, in the past, EVs had their problems, namely a limited driving range and very few recharging points, which limited their use. Now, however, recent developments in EV technology mean they can match conventional petrol engines in terms of performance and safety. Let's not forget that EVs are cleaner. They are, in fact, zero-emissions vehicles. Plus, importantly, the power source is rechargeable, so this does not involve using any valuable resources. Now, the really exciting thing is this: the fuel cell. Looks like a skateboard, doesn't it? Really, it's just a battery, but it's contained in the vehicle's chassis. The area where the engine would normally be is free, so you have far more space. The design options for the vehicle interior are huge. Moving on to communications. Very soon, cars will have their own navigation system. They will be linked to GPS satellites, so they'll do all the driving for you. What controls remain for the occupants will be audio-based. So, for example, you'll just have to say, "a bit warmer," and the air conditioning will adjust automatically. You'll also be able to receive email, music, and movies all via an internet link. So, just tap in the destination you want, sit back, sleep, watch a movie, whatever. All that extra space where the engine was can be like a lounge. All the chairs can face each other.
What about car crashes?
Aha! Lasers and radar sensors will track nearby cars, so you'll never crash. It'll be perfectly safe. Now, that's the end of the introduction.
Hey, John, get the post, will you?
OK.
Anything interesting?
A few bills and, a leaflet on recycling.
Oh, really? It's about time we started recycling. What does it say?
Recycling information as part of the city's campaign to protect the environment. We are introducing a recycling scheme. Please use the black bin for all recyclable waste.
Oh, they must mean that bin we got a couple of weeks ago. I wondered what it was for.
It says here the collection for North Park is on Mondays.
How about Mum?
Let's look. South Park is on Thursdays. They say we have to put it outside by 7 o'clock in the morning.
So, what do we put in it?
It says here, newspapers, magazines, junk mail, white paper, cans and aerosols. Pretty much everything, I think. Oh, hang on. No cardboard, milk cartons, plastic bags or paint cans. Oh, and glass is different. Glass is on Tuesdays. No broken glass, it says.
Well, what do we do with broken glass then?
I guess we have to take it to a recycling centre ourselves.
Why can't they collect it?
Maybe it's dangerous. Anyway, it says there are 40 recycling centres here.
I've never seen one. Where are they all?
Well, there's a number here to call and ask. 01623 987426. I might give them a ring and ask.
Yes, good idea. Ask them if there's anywhere to recycle old husbands too, will you?
Ha ha, very funny.
Please, please, can you help me? Someone just stole my camera.
Now then, sir, calm down. Where did this happen?
In the city centre, outside McDonald's.
Would you like to report this to the Crime Management Unit, sir?
What's that?
That's a special unit we have here that deals with this type of thing. They'll take some more details from you and give you a crime reference number for your insurance.
Oh, yes. Let's do that then.
This way, please, sir. Now, I'm Constable Martin Peel. I just need a few details from you and then we can give you your crime reference number, OK?
Yes, fine.
So, your name is?
Manolo González from Spain.
That's M-A-N-O-L-O, then G-O-N...
Z-A-L-E-Z.
OK, Manolo. And where are you staying here in London?
I am a student. I'm staying with a host family. They are Mr. and Mrs. Hilton. The address is 23 Brookfield Close.
Oh, hold on. 23 Brookfield Close, yes?
London, E12, 5TR.
5TR. OK, now, you had a camera stolen?
Yes, it was a digital camera. A Pentax DF Super.
Colour?
Black.
And how much was it worth?
I only bought it last month. It cost 380 euros.
Right. Now, you say it was stolen in the city centre outside McDonald's in Hope Avenue. What time was this, sir?
About 2:30.
And did you get a look at whoever stole it?
It was a young man, maybe around 18, with short dark hair and glasses. He was wearing jeans and a green t-shirt.
And were there any witnesses?
Lots of people were there, but... Oh, the ice cream seller. He was standing on the corner.
OK, an ice cream seller. Now, I'm going to give you a crime reference number, so write it down. It's EFO 17638. Got it?
Yes.
OK. Well, Mr. González, that's all we can do for now. We'll contact you if we have any news.
OK, then. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm sick of shopping now. These bags are too heavy.
Yeah, let's go home. Oh, no. Here we go again.
Can you spare any change, sir? For the homeless?
No, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. Here you are.
Thanks, love. Have a nice day.
You mustn't give those people any money, Diane.
Why not? I think we should help people who can't help themselves. It can't be easy living on the streets.
If they're homeless, it's because they want to be. There are plenty of hostels and places they can stay.
What would you think if you had no money and saw people like us with loads of shopping bags walking past all day ignoring you? How would you feel?
They get plenty of money off the government.
Oh, really?
Yes. They spend the money they get from begging on drugs and alcohol. That's the only reason they ask for more, and mugs like you give it to them.
I don't think it's that simple, Charles. Many beggars have mental problems like depression. And anyway, living that kind of life, no wonder they start drinking and taking drugs.
He was only, mid-20s, perfectly fit. He could get a job today if he wanted.
Oh.
When I was his age, I had a job. I was working for my money, not begging for it. But people like him, they could easily get a job if they wanted one. The fact is, they know they can have a perfectly cushy life thanks to the government and people like you.
Cushy? I wouldn't call that kind of life cushy, whatever the reason for it. People who beg on the streets have a hard life. Anyway, I don't like talking about this kind of thing. Let's just forget it.